Okay, team, I want to show you how to put together your escrow deposit form. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to open up your escrow deposit form document, and the autofill should come up. So ideally, as we've discussed many times before, you want to make sure all your players are in there: the listing agent, the tenant agent, the landlord, and the tenants. If any information is missing here that is critical, you can feel free to put it in there and it will actually save it for you. So if you're missing something that you forgot to do, this is actually a great place to do it. Hit the autofill button, and the yellow fields are going to be the fields that are overwritten. So there's more fields that need to be filled out. So on the escrow deposit form, this agent, it's going to be you. So I'm going to put my name here, and the date is today's date. You're going to put in the listing side or the selling side. Generally speaking, you're going to be putting in the selling side because that's when you collect a deposit from your tenant. If there's another agent that you're working with in the office, you would end up putting them there. Make sure you have an MLS number. That's very important. We've got our address. Here's the landlord. Here are our tenants. The co-broker down here, this is the other agent. So this is the other agent. That's the company they work for. And this particular deposit is the first deposit that they're giving me. So this is the first 1 month's rent. If, for instance, that you had, let's say you did a seasonal rental and you were collecting rents over the course of, let's say they put down 1 month in the summertime, and then they put another month or a couple other months, like a month before, that would be the second deposit. And if, let's say, they did XYZ, maybe something they forgot, that would be the third deposit. Okay. The total lease value. The total lease value is the value of the lease. And basically how you determine that is you take the monthly rent and you multiply by the number of months. So if I had a $1,500 a month rental for an annual lease, I would take $1,500 and multiply that by 12. 1,500 times 12, that's equal to $18,000. So that's how much the lease value is. The deposit is going to be the 1 month's rent, which was $1,500. And what is the commission? So this gives us a number of different options here. Either it could be a half month, which is, you're either going to be picking, generally speaking, you're going to be picking a half month or 5%. If you have both sides, you would do 1 month and 10%, or it could be other. It could be a flat fee from another, from a certain broker. You would look in the MLS to see what the compensation is. And I know you know overall that is. So the pending date will be the date that the contract to lease was actually executed. If you didn't use the contract to lease, then it would be the lease agreement. And then the closing date, which would be the date into the future. So it closes on, let's say, January 1st. And that's it. Now, in addition to filling out the extra deposit form, and I can't stress this enough, one, the escrow deposit form should be filled. There's no reason why you can't fill this out right when you're writing this contract to lease. The deposit's not going to change. It's always going to be 1 month's rent. So when you're writing up your contract, your offer, write up the contract to lease, write up the escrow deposit form. If your client is, let's talk about so before we move on from this, the next thing you're going to do is that once this is filled out and the deposit has been sent in, or you're dropping it off, you've got to send Tom a note, or else especially if it's being Zelled into him and it's just sitting in the account, it shows up, but he doesn't have any idea where it's supposed to go. So send a note, again, click here on the upper right hand side to notes. You click on new note, and when you click on new note, then the admins will show up. So there is Tom. Click on that and just say $1,500 deposit. Let's try to spell. Deposit was Zelled in for this file, and that's all you got to do. You don't have to put in since you're sending a note from the dot loop, you don't have to reference the file, you don't have to reference the person, all of it's in here. So then you would just click send, and that's it, you're good to go. Couple other things when it comes to deposits. Remember, there's no such thing as personal checks in real estate, period. It doesn't matter if it's a rental, it doesn't matter if it's for a purchase. Title companies don't take personal checks. We don't take personal checks. There's way too much fraud out there. There's enough fraud as it is with cashier's checks. So what do we take? We take cashier's checks, we take money orders, and we take Zelle. So to Zelle, you would end up using Tom's cell phone number, and that deposits money directly into the escrow account. So very simple. That's probably the easiest route to go. Pretty much every single major bank takes Zelle, and it's done through your client's app. So remember, just no personal checks. Can't do it. Okay. If you have any problems, give us a shout.